Hi, I'm Jill Pugh, and I'm an attorney here in Seattle, and I practice in employment law. I've been practicing for 17 years, and about 14 of those years I've been a solo, and now recently I call myself a small firm practitioner since I added an associate. I am the incoming King County Bar Association chair of the solo and small firm section, as well as a client of Main Street Financial. And I've been a client of Main Street for almost 10 years, and I've come to know and become friends with Dwayne Crone, who I frequently tap as a resource to be an expert speaker at CLEs on malpractice insurance and professional liability issues. And he's asked me to reciprocate by coming and talking about what I know and is near and dear to me, which is the solo and small firm practice of law. I'm often now taken out by folks considering going out on their own, whether they're new attorneys or leaving a firm. Take me out for coffee and we talk about the practice. And the most number one question is, how do I get clients? And one of my other big recommendations for folks is to really get involved in your professional associations. And by that I mean the state bar, but I mean the local bar association, minority bar associations. And then as you learn more what you really want to do, you can also look at if there's professional non-lawyer associations to be engaged in. But I have found some of my best referrals come from fellow attorneys, because then typically the client is somewhat pre-screened. Hopefully that means they're not a crazy client. Also usually means they understand the concept that they're going to need to pay something for legal services. And so that's why getting to know your fellow professionals is a great way to bring in new clients. And it can be everything from looking to see if your local bar association has a solo small firm section and joining it and becoming active. Here in King County, we have the luxury of a very large section that meets every single month. We meet the second Wednesday of the month. Sometimes it can be taking your own initiative. I'm also a member of the State Bar Solo and Small Firm section, where they have an annual CLE, which has been a great way for me to meet attorneys across the state. And I met a lovely young woman there who looked around, and in Spokane there was no local solo and small firm section, and she created one in the Spokane County Bar Association. So she has given herself immense visibility as somebody who's only 2 years out of law school. I find that that's my first go-to source to look at, is the solo small firm, if there's some sort of association you can join like that, because as a solo or small firm, you can't do everything. So that means you're really good at something, but then there's all kinds of areas that you don't practice in. And so if you meet other folks who practice in something you don't practice in and you get to know them, where are you going to send your business? I also find we solo and small firm folks, they're kind of loyal. We try to. My first couple of referrals are almost always somebody who's a solo or a small firm, rather than sending them to the big firms. So getting active, start out just by showing up if there's regular meetings so that people recognize you and get to know you. Then put your toe in the water a little more and volunteer to be on a committee or to chair something, which leads to another way of being involved in your professional associations that I think increases your visibility, increases your referrals. Is a great way to do all of that is to volunteer to be the chair or a co-chair for whatever the planning committee is for a continuing legal ed seminar. I've done it both in my specific topic area of employment law as well as with solo and small firm. And it's marvelous because as the chair of the upcoming program, it gives you license to call up or email people who are tops in your field. Really important people that maybe you might feel too shy to call up, somebody you maybe have admired or somebody who's just been in the news. And they're usually happy to hear from you because they're flattered that we're all human, and to get an invite to speak is a compliment. And then you follow up with that because hopefully you're the person that kind of shepherds them through the CLE process. Even if my association doesn't ask me to do it, I send a follow-up handwritten thank you note thanking them for taking the time to come and speak at our seminar. And then you've established a relationship that can be both helpful in terms of as a resource in this substantive area of your law, or you stand out in their memory as somebody to whom they want to send their referrals to. I think it's a very underused source for attorneys, is their fellow other attorneys in areas where the structure is already set up for you, and I can't recommend it enough as a way to bring in new business.